Hi, I'm Linda Mihara, and in today's class, I'm going to show you one of my absolute favorite models. It's this really cool Martian and a spaceship to go with it. You're going to use a double-sided paper, which is great, so you can get the detail in the eyes here. And we just folded these from 6-inch by 6-inch paper, and the foil is actually fine to use. So let's get started. So we're first going to do the Martian. So decide what color you want the Martian to be, and then we're going to start off with that face side up. So whatever color you have on top is the color of the Martian. In my model, the outside color is silver, and so then his eye color is going to be white. So this is what I'm doing. So whatever color you want the eyes to be, have that face down. Okay, if you've got regular origami paper and you want the eyes to be white, great. If you want the eyes to be green, then flip it over and have that color face down. So again, whatever's face up is going to be the body, and whatever's on the back side is going to be the eyes. Okay, so start off with that, with the color side face up. And let me put Mr. Martian over here. And what we're going to do is we're going to start with some pre-creasing. So go ahead and let's fold this in half into your rectangle. And let's see, I had asked for your bone to have a bone folder. You don't need it right now, but let's see. I don't know where it went. So I'm going to use a pen for this. So after you do your fold, just go ahead and reinforce that crease, unfold it, rotate. Let's fold the other rectangle and then unfold. Now we're going to divide this into quarters. Okay, so you have your middle point here. Take the bottom edge and fold it to the center. And do the same for the other side. So you can rotate the paper and fold the other half up. And definitely you want to take your creasing tool. I'm using a pen. You can also use the back of a spoon, and of course your creasing tool if you have that. So now that you have that, unfold it. So you see you have your four, actually you have eight rectangles, but four long rectangles like this. So now this is important. You want to turn it over. So let's turn it over to the back side, or this should be the eye color of your model. And what we're going to do is we're going to fold each section in half. We're going to create a valley fold. So let's start by this first section down here. Take this bottom edge and fold it up to that first line. And go ahead and use your creasing tool here. Reinforce that. Now we're going to take the edge and we're going to bring that same edge to the middle. Like that. That's reinforcing that one crease there. And then now we're going to take it and we're going to go up to the top fold here. Okay. Now let's rotate the model and open it up. And let's fold this bottom edge to this first line. So now, do you see that first, oh, let me pull this down here. It should be a second fold line that you have, right? This one here. We're going to take this edge and bring it right up to that second fold line. Okay. And then let's unfold it. And now let's turn it back over to this side here. So again, this is the color of my Martian. Should be facing up. Now we're going to rotate it. Let's rotate it so that the lines are going vertically like this, up and down. And then we're going to fold this in half. There should be a fold there already, but we're just going to reinforce that fold like this. And then we're going to unfold. Okay. And then now we are going to repeat and that same series of steps. So the first step is to fold this bottom edge to the middle. We're basically making a grid of 8 by 8 squares. Yeah, you fold that bottom one up, unfold it. Let's rotate. Fold the other bottom edge up to the middle and unfold. And then you turn it over. And we're going to make our valley folds. So let's start with the bottom. The bottom comes up to this first section here. Let me mark this. Okay, so this bottom edge comes up to that first fold line there. And then we're going to take this edge and go right up to this top here. We're skipping that second step that I showed you earlier, which was actually not necessary. This is creating valley folds in each section on this side. Okay, you have that. And then we're going to unfold. Let's rotate. And repeat. So we're taking this bottom edge or folding it up to that first fold line here. And then we're taking that same edge and bringing it all the way up to this top fold line here. And this is creating our 8 by 8 grid that should be all mountains and valleys. Okay, so you have that in place. Let's straighten that up a little bit. So you're going to unfold it and let's turn it back over to the color side. So you should see a series of mountain valleys.
Oh, something right.
Okay. As long as you have the grid in place, if the fold you created was going the wrong direction, it's not a problem. It will, we can just work with it. So as long as you have this grid here, we're good. Okay. So now let's go ahead and take the, let's see, we're going to 1, 2, 3. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Okay. So if you look at, you've got 1, 2, 3. This third, you have your center line here. This third section, this point right here, what you want to do is we're going to create a new fold by taking the bottom edge. Okay, so find the third section, this point right here. Find that on your paper, and you're going to bring the bottom edge up to that fold line. and then you're going to make a crease. So this is a new crease that you're creating. And if you look on the bottom edge, you should see like this size fold. There's a fold line right here, right? So it should look like that. Now we're going to unfold it. And let's rotate it. Okay, so we're going to rotate it. So that new fold that we created is up here on the top. Okay. Here's the new fold. So now that we have that, let's work on the left side here. And what we're going to do is we're just going to pleat it in. This fold here should be a mountain fold. And this should be a valley fold. Let's first fold the valley fold. So 2 sections over, this line here. Let's go ahead and fold that first. So fold it over. And then let's fold that same edge back over. So you're just following that mountain fold that you created earlier. So it's like this, right? So again, I'll repeat. 2 sections over, this second line, fold line, we're going to take the edge, fold it over, and then fold it back. Just following that the same series of lines that you have. Let me raise this up a little bit, get you a little bit more view. Okay. Okay. Remember that extra fold that we did is up here on the top. Okay. Now let's repeat that on the right side. So it's the second fold over, the second fold line. Let's take that and bring it to the center. And then bring it back out. Now, good time to take your creasing tool and make sure that this is nice and creased well. Let's go ahead and do that. Okay, let's see, this one goes this way. Okay. So now we're going to start to set up the eyes that's up here, which is kind of cool. If you look at the second section, okay, so here's the first fold line here. And here's the second fold line. What we want to do is make a fold, a pre-crease that goes from this corner to this corner. On this side, it's going to go from this corner to this corner. So it's going to go this way towards the center. What you want to do, and
Linda?
Yes?
Linda?
Yes?
Side is towards the top. The one with the extra crease is towards the top?
Yes. This new crease? Yes.
Oh, okay.
This new crease?
Yeah. Thank you.
Yep. So hopefully you have this. This is what you want to do, is take the edge from the outside and just kind of fold it over. And it's basically, you're taking this edge here and bringing it to this second crease line. You're just folding it over like that. And then you're unfolding. So we just want to put that crease in place. Okay. So from the outside, make sure your angle goes this way, from bottom across like that. So you're taking this outer edge, using this as a pivot, and you're lining it up with this crease line here. Okay. And it's just half of it. You don't have to go all the way, just half. And then unfold. Let's do the same for this other side. From the outside, you're going to take it, bring this edge to line up with this fold line, using that corner as a pivot. So you're bringing it over like this, giving that a good crease, and then unfolding. And then now we're going to do a squash fold. Okay. And it goes like this. If you take this top, you open the pocket and you open it up using that fold line that you created. So if you watch what happens here, this is going to go open. This is the first step. And then you're going to take this and you're going to bring it over and squash fold it. This ends up being a triangular fold up here. Okay, so here's the way it goes. You open it up and then you close it, you squash it across. This edge will line up with the outer edge like this. Okay. And then go ahead and fold. Let me make sure mine's lined up here. I hear someone's doggy. And so for the other side, it's the same thing. I'm just going to peel open the top, open it up, and then swing the flap over to the right so that the edges line up, and coax the fold into place. So you should have this angle fold here. So now you see these two corners. Let's do one at a time. I'm going to start with the right one. We're going to take this corner and you're just going to fold this in half diagonally. So we're going to bring it from here to this point here, which is just like this. Okay. Let's fold the other one up. Yeah, so make sure your angle is like, well, it only goes one way, basically. So hopefully it goes like this. So now we're going to go ahead and unfold both of those flaps. Now you see the new fold that you've created here. What we're going to do is take the bottom edge and actually, I'm sorry, we're taking the outer edge here and we're going to fold it to meet that new crease. So if you watch this, using the corner as your pivot, let me bring this over here. Okay, so you're taking this outer edge, using this as a pivot, you're folding it over like this. So it should look like this. Let me see if I can get contrast underneath. Right, it should look like this. Okay, and then you're going to continue by taking the bottom edge now and folding it up also from this corner and lining it up along that new crease. So let me kind of do this so you can see how that goes. So we have this fold first from the outer edge, and then from the bottom edge comes up to that fold too. Right, it's a little angle fold. Let me bring the camera down so you can get a better look. Okay, you had your diagonal fold. This is the first fold, and then this is the second fold. Okay. And then the third fold is taking that whole flap and refolding it along that diagonal to open it up. So there's one eye. And then let's do the other side. So we want to go from the outside first and fold it up to that crease line there. And then the bottom edge folds up. Let's get that. So now what we're going to do is we're going to make a valley fold here and then a mountain fold here. That fold should be in place. So we're basically pleating it over. You know how we did this on the outside? So you're basically folding it in half. And then you're folding it in half again back. So on one half, you've got an extra, the layer here. Okay, so I'll repeat that. You're basically folding the whole thing in half this way, and then you're folding in half again. So this is what you should have. And you can use your creasing tool and kind of give everything a nice crease all the way down. Okay, now we're going to turn it over. Okay, so hopefully everybody has that. Let's turn it over to the back side. On the left side, this is the side that has the extra layers here, right? You're going to take that corner and just fold it down to that first fold line. So we're just folding that square in half. Let me see if I grab that paper. And after we do that, here's your edge here. Okay, do you have that? It's just the one on the left side. So if you pleated it correctly this way, when you turn it over, you'll have that extra section here. So this flap is what we're working with. So we're folding that down first. And then the flap behind it here, we're just going to take this point and fold it right to where the bottom of that triangle is. Right there. So we're just going to take this and fold it down so that it touches that point there. And then we're going to take the corner on the right and fold it down. And you want to try to match this here. So you're going to bring it in and match the angle of the other one like this. Okay. On the one side here, you know, we have that extra flap. So you folded that and got that out of the way. Then you're taking this corner and folding it so that it meets that edge there. And then this one is just matching that. There's no landmark to fold to. So you just want to eyeball it and try to make it even like this. So visually it looks like that. We're just rounding out the top part of the head. So now identify that, here's that extra fold line, right? And you've got your other ones here. I'm going to mark them. These are the fold lines you should have. You should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 that are the same size and 2 that are not. 2 that are half of that. It's going to go from here. Sorry, ignore that. So it's from, so this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? This is the 5th square. Then you've got a half here. And then this is the line, the fold line that we're working with. Sorry about that. What we want to do is create these folds here, these diagonal folds. Super, super easy to do. Take the paper and you're just going to fold this. Actually, let's do it from the bottom. It's probably easier. If you grab the length of this and you're just going to swing it over. And what it is this fold line will line up with the center here. And you should see a little bit of the eye on this side here. And let's just put a fold on this half here. So it should be a little bit of the other side and then a little bit of the green. Unfold it. And let's swing the other side over. So again, that line will line up with the center there. You have a little bit of the eye sticking out here. And then unfold. You've got a fold line going down the middle. It should be a valley fold. And then what we're going to do is starting from the bottom, you're going to bring and fold it in half. And what's going to happen is, as you come to the, if you just watch this for just a second, when you fold it in half, you see those new folds that you've created, it kind of pops out, right? And then you're just going to flatten it and bring it forward like this. So it's just reinforcing those new creases that you did here. And if you turn him over, there's his head. And now we're going to build the body. Okay. So some more pre-creasing involved here. Okay. So if you look at the body, you see this fold line here. Let me see. It's a quarter, one of those quarter folds. Let me just mark all of these folds here. So you see this quarter fold here? What we're first going to do is let's make a valley fold. Let's reinforce this and make a valley fold. So you're just going to fold it along that line and then unfold it. So we just want to put that fold in place first. Now we're going to create a diagonal fold that goes from upper right to the bottom left. This is the front. Okay, so make sure the front of the model is he's facing to your left. So he's facing to the left, and we're going to make a diagonal fold that goes across this way. And the way you do that is you can take the body here and swing it across and just make your angle fold that goes right along that fold there, that crease line there. And then we're going to unfold it. And we're going to make another crease valley fold that is this here. So let's go ahead and fold this in half along that. The crease is in place, so you're just kind of training that crease because we're going to open this up. So you should have a crease, a valley fold here, a valley fold here, and a valley fold that goes this way diagonally from the back to the front here. Now the fun part. So turn the model so that he's facing you. And you see that you have 4 layers down here. Let's split it open in half. So you have 2 layers on one side, 2 layers on the other side. Now you see those pre-creases that you've made. There's a little triangle that's in here. And what you want to do is open, if you stretch the paper out, you see how it starts to come down? We're going to make another, I call it like a T fold because it ends up making a T in the paper. So it's reinforcing, you know, that diagonal that you made? We're just going to go ahead and when you stretch the paper out completely, it starts to come up. So you can put it flat on the table, stretch it out, and then these you want to bring in. And these are the shoulders like this. So that's why those pre-creases are really important that you have in place to make this fold here. So now that you have that, let's put a couple more pre-creases in. So here's our next fold line here. Okay, let's make a valley fold that goes from here to here and from here to here. Easy. From the outside, using this as a pivot, you're going to bring it over. Fold it up to that first fold line. Unfold it. Do the same for the other side. Swing that over. And unfold. You could actually make this a bookmark just as it is. It's pretty funny. Okay, so now that you have that in place, we're going to do the same thing that we did up here. We're going to bring, starting from the bottom, bring the edges together. And you see how it comes together. Now it goes back. And then what you're going to do is just kind of push everything together like this. We're just pushing. You see how that goes? I'm pushing it together. So here are his arms. And to lock this in place, what I would like you to do is to just make a slight fold of his hands, I guess if he's got hands, make a little valley fold going up at an angle like that. That kind of locks those layers in place. And the same for the other side. And I'd like the fold to start from the middle here and go out. That just kind of locks those layers in place. So now it should look like this. He's got happy hands. So now we're going to do another couple of pre-creases. So you've got 3 sections left here. So now what we're not going to worry about anything here in the middle. We're working on the bottom legs here. So let's go ahead and put a diagonal fold that goes this way from the bottom out. So remember, the front is facing to the left. And it's the second section that's down here. So let's take this and just swing it over to the left like that against that fold line. And let's make our crease. And then unfold. Let's bring him face forward again. Let's split the layers evenly. And what I want you to do is to watch this first before you do it, because it kind of, there's a lot going on. And we're actually doing the same thing we did up here, but it's going the other direction. You've made your diagonal fold. So if you stretch the paper open like this, you see how it pops into place here. If you pinch him here at the waist, so funny, pinch him here at the waist, and you stretch the paper out, now this bottom part comes up. You see how it comes up? This way. You want to make sure the body stays together. That's the only way you could get a really successful, what I call T-fold down here. And this fold line here will end up going into a mountain fold like this. And you're going to push this together. So now you have this. Now what we want to do, if you turn it over to the back side, we're going to take these flaps here, and we're just going to unfold it so it looks like this. It starts to look like a box on the one side, okay? And go ahead and pinch this into a mountain fold and make sure that you've got a little crease right here. So we're looking at the back of the model, right? So you're going to take this, all layers, and you're going to bring it open. And then make that fold into a mountain fold. So this is what it should look like from the back. You've got a kind of a box on the bottom, okay? Let's turn it over. And this is what it looks like from the front. And then, let's see, we're going to, now you're going to take that box. Now we're facing forward here. So have your model oriented this way. You're just going to push the box down. And then these are going to turn into angle folds like this. You see how that works? It's a squash fold that comes out. And the same for the other side. So now that you have that, let's fold him in half. And now you have your 2 legs. So he should look like this. But we're not done. We have to do a little bit of finishing on the bottom here. So what we have to do is we have to tuck this whole section in. So he's facing to the left. You open this section up, and you see this whole bottom, these 2 squares, you're just going to shove it inside. So we're going to make a valley fold going across. So it's just like this. You're just tucking that whole section in, right? Like this. And then you're closing it up. Make sure that we tuck it. And let's do the other leg. So let's turn him over to the other side. So now he's facing to the right. So he's facing to the right. From the left, you're going to peel open this whole section here and bring this entire bottom edge in, like including this here, okay? So make sure you've got the two squares tucked in like that, and then you're closing it up. So let's bring him face forward now. Two more folds to finish him. So for his legs, you know how we do a little detail here up on the hands? So the feet, what I find works is if you just fold it out a little bit, but you want to make it straight across like this on both sides. Like that. So then, and then you can kind of bring it out so it's flat, and then he should stand very nicely. You might have to adjust it and make sure that the hands, make sure that the shoulders are flat, because he'll tend to fall forward. But he should stand. You may have to use a little bit of glue here. I noticed my smaller one I had no problem with, but the bigger one, maybe put a little bit of glue on the back here so that hold him straight, and then he'll stand. So what we're going to do is first start color side or silver side face up, and let's go ahead and fold the triangle. Open this up and fold the other triangle. So we're doing some pre-creasing here. What we want to do is pre-crease a preliminary base. Okay. So like this, and then unfold it. So now that you have that, let's turn it over to the back side of the paper, and let's fold both rectangles. Okay, so let's do the first one. You're going to fold it and then unfold. And then unfold. Let's rotate, fold the other rectangle, keep it folded in this rectangle. Keep it folded here. And then now we're going to grab the folded edge, which is here, each corner with each hand, and you bring the bottom points together like this. And then split your layers so you have two on one side, two on the other side, and flatten. That's your preliminary base. So now you have two flaps on either side. We're going to do a series of squash folds. So when you do a squash fold, be mindful of the center crease, which is actually the spine of the model. You want to let's take this section here on the right and swing it over to the left, and then bring it to the center. And what we're doing is we're reinforcing that spine crease that you'll need when you squash fold this in place. So now that you have that, you slide your finger in, and you're going to squash fold it into place, lining up that fold down the center with the two sections here on the bottom. Okay, so you want to do that. So that's why it's important to have that spine so that these don't come apart here. Let's turn the model over. So let's turn it over. So now you should have two flaps on the right here. Let's take that flap, fold it back over to the other side, reinforcing the spine. Bring it to the center and go ahead and squash fold. So you're sliding your finger in to pop it open. And then you're squashing it into place, keeping that top fold lining up with the center between these. And make sure that these points don't float out. You might want to bring them together and then fold. Oops. Like that. Like this. Okay. We're going to do the other two flaps. And the way you do that is something called a minor miracle or a do-si-do. Take this flap here, these two flaps, and let's fold it in half, bring it together, and then hold it with one hand. Let's do the same for the other side. So see, I'm still holding these two together. Take these two and bring that together. like this. Okay. And then just go ahead and put it flat on the table. So you'll see the back flap will go either to the left or to the right. And then you've got your next flap ready to go. Go ahead and slide your finger in and flatten. Make sure that these points stay together here. Go ahead and flatten that. And then turn it over to the other side and do the final flap. You won't need to flip it over because it's already been reinforced when we did this maneuver. So just bring it to the center, slide your finger in, and squash. Okay, and so now we're going to make the feet of the landing gear or whatever on the raft of the spaceship. So let's take this top layer, this bottom edge here where it's white on my paper here, and we're just going to take that and bring that to the center. And it's important to not go over that center line. You see this edge here? You want to make sure that it doesn't cross it. You almost want to leave a little bit of space. So you see how I left a little bit of space? But it does come to a point here, okay? So make sure that it doesn't go over and you have a little bit of gap like that, because we're going to reverse fold this whole section. And let's do the same for the other flap on the left. Bring that in just up to, but not over that center line, or the back flap, whichever you see there. So it should look like this. And let's turn it over and do the same for these two. This bottom edge comes up. Remember, just shy of that center, you can leave a little space. And the same for the left. Bring that in. And then now we're going to do that do-si-do maneuver. We're going to take this section. Let's bring it together. Turn it over, bring that other section together. And you kind of fold it all the way up like this. And then you want to split your layers. So split the back layers like this. Have that face down. And then you could split these layers here. And then we're going to do the same thing on the bottom sections on both sides. So let's go and do the right side first. That comes up. Make sure it doesn't go over that center line. Same for the left. And then turn it over and do the final two. So now we're going to do 2 inside reverse folds to make the leg. We're going to do a series of pre-creases first that'll help you with this maneuver. So if you should have 4 legs down here in the bottom. Let's take this first one on the top on the right, and you see how it stops right about here. We're going to take it, we're going to valley fold it outwards at a right angle, like this. Same for the opposite side. Let's take that, fold it out at a right angle. And then let's go ahead and take the tip, and you're just going to fold it down. I like it to end where this meets. You see this edge here? So let's pre-crease it down like this. And match the other side. See, so that kind of starts to look like the legs of our spaceship. Okay. Now let's unfold both of those flaps like this. Let's start with the right side. Lift open just the top layer of paper, this here, and we're going to take this flap and we're going to create you'll see a mountain fold here and a valley fold here. We're going to create a valley fold here. The way you do that is you want to coax this in place first, and then pinch this into a valley fold here. Easy way to do that is you have this in place, you pinch the leg like this, and then when you squash it, it should automatically reverse like that. So inside reverse fold. So I'll repeat that. You open this, lift this up. Be mindful, here's your belly fold. Lift it up. You're going to pinch this into a mountain fold as you bring this flap over, and it'll go right inside like that. Okay. Then to finish, you're going to take this, and we're going this way here. We're going to go down. So if you open it up from the bottom, again, you'll see a valley fold and a mountain fold. So you're going to reverse the direction of this remaining part by making turning this into a mountain fold right through the middle here. So when you pinch it in place, then it'll just squash like this. Got it? Inside reverse fold. So let's do the same for the other side. So from the outside, I'm just going to open it up, bring the point up, reinforcing this valley fold. You're going to create a mountain fold down the middle by pinching from the outside. And then it'll squash in place and follow that pre-crease that you've created. Like that. And then from the bottom, you're going to open it up, push this down, reversing the direction like that, and then you're pinching it in place. So if you've made a crane, it's basically the same way you do a crane head. It's inside reverse fold. Should look like that. And so now let's turn it over and repeat on these two flaps. So again, you want to do your pre-crease by taking this and folding it out at a right angle. And since you've done the other two legs, you could just match that by looking behind and then folding along that edge. And then let's go ahead and continue and take that and match this part here by folding it down. So that you're matching directly what's behind it. The same for the other side. So you fold that out, matching the one in the back. And then bringing it forward, matching the angle to the one on the back. This makes your symmetrical legs to your rocket or your spaceship. You unfold both of those, and we're going to do our inside reverse fold. So again, starting from the outside, open it up, lift this point, creating this, making this into a mountain fold. And then you're swinging this over and it should fall right into place. I say that and mine's not folding right into place. There we go. And then opening from the bottom and reversing, pushing that fold in, changing that to a mountain fold from the inside, and then squashing it into place like that. And then the final one from the outside, lift this up and squashing into place, opening it up, bringing the point down and squashing that into place. Okay, so we've actually finished folding, and so what you want to do is kind of center all of your flaps like this, and you could leave the rocket ship like this, or there's a hole at the bottom so you can blow some air into it and kind of round out the top like this. So you can just give it a good puff and then it'll pop open and you can have kind of a rounded point. The other thing to do is to take like a couple of opposite flaps and just kind of, you're kind of stretching the paper out by doing, you grab towards the top, two opposite points, keeping it pinched, but then you're pulling and stretching the paper. And that's a way to kind of shape it too, if you didn't want to blow air into it, or if you're having difficulty. If you're using foil, it's a little bit delicate, so you might want to use blow air into it if you want to round it out. So I'm kind of rounding them out like this. If you want it to be really fancy, so you see how I have mine rounded out here, you can just, if you want to, make a slight valley fold here. You push it in. Like that. So it makes a cool little pleat that goes in. You could use the edge of your creasing tool if you want to do that, but the key is to hold it, tight here at the bottom and then just kind of pushing an edge in there. Like that. It's kind of fun. And then that's kind of a cool effect. And you might want to make it come to a point. It's totally up to you how you want to style your spaceship. Kind of like that. That's kind of a cool thing. Or just leave it flat. It's totally up to you. So that's Mr. Spaceship to go with Mr. Martian.